Hi, I'm Kat Weichsel from Pate Group, and I wanted to go over some Yammer options that you might not be aware of. The first option that I want to talk about is the fact that SharePoint has Yammer web parts. On this SharePoint page here, you can see over on the side, I have a Yammer Conversations web part, and this has allowed me to bring Yammer content right to my intranet homepage. Now, if you scroll down a little bit, you'll see that what I'm pulling in here is a poll from Yammer. And I'm going to talk about this a little bit more in a few minutes. The poll topic that I have added for this post is what I am using in this web part to pull this content in. I have set up this web part to look for a topic called poll and pull in anything that is tagged like that. And that's going to enable new future polls to just automatically update this intranet homepage. Pretty cool. Next, I want to talk about the add a question option in Yammer. You can create new discussions, but you can also create questions, specifically questions in Yammer. And they look a little different. You'll see it looks like this. You type in your question. People can reply the way they would reply to a discussion thread, but you can mark which one you think is the best answer. And when you do that, it gets put at the very top of the entire thread. So if I wanted to change my best answer, I could come in here and decide that this one is the best. Actually, that's what I do here. I mark it as best answer by clicking that checkbox. And now that's the one that's marked as best answer, and it's at the top of the thread. So as I mentioned earlier, topics are a nice option for organizing things inside of Yammer, but they're also great ways to pull content to those Yammer web parts in SharePoint. So following along with that example I showed at the beginning, let's say I wanted to create a brand new poll and I want that to automatically get posted to my homepage web part. I'm going to go in, put in my question, put in the different poll option answers, and then come down here to this little icon. Looks like a little book, and it says Add Topics. And when you click on that, you can type in brand new topics that don't exist, or you can look for ones that do exist. And I'm just going to select the one that I've been using called poll. And that's the one that's being used on that Yammer web part on my intranet homepage. So as soon as I create this poll and save it, it's automatically going to show up on the homepage. Another nice feature in Yammer is the ability to move conversations. This is something that Teams could certainly use, but doesn't seem to have yet. Let's say I go into an older community that we haven't used in about 5 years, and I want to move some of the content to this new social squad community that we have. I can go to a post and click the menu, the three dots over here, and one of my options is to move the conversation. I can then pick where I want to move it to, and I can just click move, and that will automatically get put into the new community location. Yammer also has the ability to close a conversation. So let's say some conversation post has gotten tons of replies, you want to move on, you can shut down that particular conversation. And do so, you can just go right to the main post, click on that and say close conversation. And you'll notice it reminds you when you go to click on that before you can continue. It just lets you know that it's a good idea to add a final reply to that conversation explaining why it's being closed before you actually close it. That just gives everybody a heads up if they're reading through it and they want to reply, they'll see why it's actually been closed down. Another nice option that I wish we had in Teams is the ability to pin a post. Now, you might say you already have that option in Teams, but it doesn't work the way I want it to anyway. I don't know about you. Um, Here, you can pin a particular conversation inside of a community, and this is what it does. When you go to the menu, say pin conversation, it moves it to the top of the page. Now, I don't know about you, but I expected that would be the case with Microsoft Teams when they came out with the pin a conversation option. Sadly, that is not how it works in Teams. It is how it works here and on Twitter and a number of other social platforms. So I prefer this. It shows you that it's pinned. It gives you those visual indicators. And then when you're done, and maybe you want to pin something else, because you can only pin one conversation at a time in a community. Let's say you're ready to unpin this so that you can pin something else. You can just go back to the menu and say unpin. What I also like in Yammer is that you have these nice visuals so you can very quickly see how many people have seen a particular post. So as you scroll through your feed, you can see how many people have seen all these individual posts. Quick and easy. Now, we're getting very familiar with reactions across all platforms in Teams and in Yammer. The Yammer reactions are a little different, though, and I wanted to show you how they're different. For one thing, there are different options. So you'll see things like celebrate and thanks, things that are just a little more social and fun inside of Yammer. But another thing you might notice is the skin tone for the like reaction and the thank reaction. You can actually choose a skin tone. And so these are just more inclusive. Now, to do this, you go up to your settings and go to choose skin tone for reactions. And you'll see you have a range of skin tone options to choose from. If you wanted these to match the yellow smiley faces and all of that, you could certainly pick a yellow thumbs up. But you could also, if you wanted to pick a skin tone that's closest to your own, you can do that as well. And finally, you may just say after all of this, this is great. I would like to use Yammer, but really I live and breathe inside of Teams and I don't want to go to another place. Well, you're in luck because there is an app that they have added to Teams for Yammer Communities. If you don't have it automatically there, if your organization hasn't set that up for you, you can go to the menu for apps and look for the Yammer Communities app and go ahead and add it to your left rail as long as your organization allows that particular app to be in use. It's just a very nice way to bring Yammer right into this place where you spend your entire day and it's one quick option on your left rail. Click on it and go have a little bit of fun with your colleagues. That's it for this set of Yammer Did You Know tips. I hope that you have found this helpful, and please check out our blog and our YouTube channel to stay tuned with more content we'll be sharing soon. Thanks so much.